Alrighty, hey everyone.
Hi.
Here with Louisa Tew from Away Team, and Louisa is part of the Network Buddy community, and we're going to have a chat with her just about her business, what she does, networking, and a quick roundup of having a startup and having a new business and what that feels like, and some of her advice and a bit of her journey through stuff. So, Louisa, tell us just a little bit about Away Team and what it is that you guys do.
So Away Team's been running about 18 months, which is very new.
Yeah.
And what we do is we find virtual assistants from the Philippines to work inside Australian businesses.
Yeah.
And we're quite unique because we do individual matching. So we take that specific skills that each client needs and we find that person
To do that.
Yeah.
So it would be, I think a very good way to accurately describe it is people always think of offshore work as a VA or someone who does occasional work for you or part-time activities or specific things. You guys don't do that. You essentially find a staff member who just happens to work offshore.
Yes.
Yep.
So virtual employee. I
Virtual
think.
employee is a good word. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, good. So tell us, why did you start this business? Why did you get into it? What's your passion, and where does that come from?
So we've been doing it ourselves. So my husband runs a web development firm,
Yep.
and we've been using outsourced labour ourselves for 5 years.
Okay.
And alongside that, I am passionate about ethics and making sure that all people in the world are given a fair go and all of that sort of stuff.
Cool.
And when we first started looking in the outsourcing space, we discovered there are so many cowboys.
Yeah.
And there are so many people employing people for very little money. And because I'm so passionate about ethics, we worked out in that 5 years how to do it properly, how to make sure everyone was paid well. And because we knew what we were doing.
Yep, because you've done it.
Yes.
Yep.
And because I wanted to be able to stand in the space, because outsourcing is a thing. Like
Yeah, it
it's
is a
becoming
thing.
bigger
Yes.
and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to say, come to us. We do it ethically. All
Yep.
of our workers are waged. They're on good wages. And
Yep.
the flip side of that is that you get a loyal employee who sticks with you and who will be inside your business for a long time.
Fantastic. Sounds great. So, coming to my favorite topic, which is always about technology in business. What's your favorite piece of technology, and how does it enable something good in your life, or some, a better way to do something, or make your life better?
So I'm not a technology person.
Yeah.
And I'm actually terrified of technology most of the time.
Yeah.
But for me and my team, it's been Slack.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And the reason is because it doesn't matter where I am in the world or where they are in the world, we can have real-time conversations that also links to our Google Documents.
Yep.
And we, it's very intuitive, and it updates very regularly, and it can either be on your phone or your computer or your tablet or whatever.
Fantastic.
And you can talk to people, and you can have various channels. So you can make channels that are for particular things, and you can have individual conversations, and you can have chats, and you can. So I really like it. I love that it integrates with Google Docs and Trello.
Okay, fantastic.
So when we're doing, because we use both of those things because all of our team is remote.
Yeah.
So you can post a link in there and it goes straight to the Google document.
Yep.
I love that you can put calendar invites in there to remind people. So we have a Monday and Friday meeting, and that reminder comes up 10 minutes before, and that's linked to our calendars. So that's great. Yep. You can put links to Google Hangouts or Allo or any of those video kind of places for people to go into a boardroom so that you can have team chats. So it's this one-stop shop for talking to people across spaces.
Facilitating communication across borders and across distance in a much easier, it sounds like a much more intuitive and easier way than sort of a traditional emailing or whatever kind of way.
Yeah, and it really creates that sense of hanging about around the coffee machine. You know how when you work in an office and you have your coffee and you just kind of hang
and you have a chat.
So when you are remote, you have to create those experiences. So we will often just hang out on a Friday and post GIFs and fun stuff. And we've actually got a Friday Fun Day channel. And we post songs, and so it really creates that kind of team environment. which I really like because it is a place where I know I can go. And you can have, so we have one for internal workers, one for external workers. We have the Intellus and Intuent guys in a chat so they can talk to each other about development, and it's just all really streamlined. So
beautiful. It's good. Sounds great. Awesome. So you're a new business, you're 18 months in, and one of the biggest things in Australia, at least in terms of growing your business, and worldwide, I'd say in most areas, is networking and in-person networking. Tell us about your networking journey and some of the struggles you've had around there.
So it was, when did I go to my first networking event? June last year, I want to say.
Yep.
So June last year, I left work because I was working as a social worker. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this business thing.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
No idea.
It's a good question to ask.
What do I do? And I found Business in Heels was my very first event, and it was terrifying. You walk into this big group of people who seem to all know each other. You know, when you go into one of those groups and everyone knows each other, and then, you know, I've never done business before, and I had to pretend I was this amazing businesswoman. And so I've gone from that to now I can talk to anybody, anywhere about Away Team. In fact, I've talked to people in bus shelters about it. And it's just about putting yourself out there. And about knowing that you are passionate about your business. I'm really passionate about Away Team. I think it is, it provides long-term sustainable employment for Filipinos, and it takes business owners from overwhelmed to actually enjoying being a business person again.
Cool.
So because I'm so passionate about it, anytime anybody asks me to speak, I just say yes.
You say yes. Good. I like the sound of that.
And so, you know, when I'm on Facebook and someone says, I'm looking for speakers, I'm like, yes. And
Put me down.
Yeah, and I just say yes. And it's nerve-wracking and it's a bit scary. But the more you say yes, the easier it gets. And you just build up your little portfolio of, I've got this 20-minute talk that I do now everywhere. And it's actually really fun. And I have met business besties.
Awesome.
And I think that's really important as well. The thing about networking is, yes, it's about growing your business, but it's also about building relationships with like-minded individuals, because it can be quite lonely.
Yes, absolutely.
Doing business. And I found that coming from an office team environment where I was always with people and to at home in the lounge room. And I'm an extrovert.
It's quite lonely when you have to just do, you know, and video chats and talking to people on the phone is not the same.
No, it's not.
Absolutely not the same.
So getting out to events, and creating relationships with like-minded people. I now have this whole community of mostly women, a few men, but mostly women, who I really like. I like spending time with, and I learn from them.
Beautiful.
And I think it's great.
Good.
So I love networking.
Fantastic. So what would be your top tip for marketing for a startup? So a brand new company startup that has, let's say, limited budget, limited networks, what would you say to them they should do first to get their marketing kick-started?
So they have to be on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't think that you can get away with having a startup without being on Facebook. But then they have to be engaging in that space. So it's all very well to have a Facebook page, and as we know, the algorithms have just changed. That's
again.
A whole other story. But I would say never say no to an opportunity. So, and know what you are an expert in.
Okay.
So know what your business is, know who your core clients are, and pitch to them. So, you know, you got your Facebook page, you're writing relevant content that people learn from. And you know who you're pitching to. And just get yourself communicating. You know, get yourself out there. And if you're really passionate, you'll sell just because you're passionate.
Because people see it. They can see your sparkle.
It's funny. I had my headshots done because nobody likes having their photo taken.
No one does.
Specifically, not me, but
no.
Anyway.
I don't think anyone likes a photograph of themselves or a video of themselves or anything. No, we don't.
And I was at a networking event the other night, and I was a sponsor, so they put my photo up, and then this woman came up to me after and she goes, "You need new headshots." And I'm like, "Why?" So I thought I quite liked him. She goes, because you look really fierce and unapproachable in the photos. And I had to think about that. And that's because those photos were done when I started.
Yes.
And I probably was fierce and unapproachable.
Because you were putting on a veneer of confidence, and
Yes.
it wasn't genuine confidence.
That's right.
And veneer of confidence always looks a little bit brittle.
Yes.
It's the fear behind the eyes that makes you
Yes.
look all I'm
Yes.
fierce.
And I wasn't meaning to be fierce.
No, you weren't.
And so, you know, my advice is the more you network, the easier it gets, the more
Yes.
passionate you'll be, the more comfortable you'll be talking to new people.
Fantastic.
Yep. And just go.
And just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. I like that. So, Away Team runs in 2 different countries. So you've got your Australian end where there's you and some, an office out here, and then the staff are actually in the Philippines, and the recruits are in the Philippines, and you run an office over there. Tell us about what it's like to run a company across 2 different countries.
Really, really life-changing.
Okay.
The reason is because I am very white.
Yes.
You know, Australia is a massive country that's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Tasmania, which is possibly the whitest state in Australia.
Yep.
And so my understanding of other people's culture was very limited growing up. And so you go over to another culture and you get completely immersed in that other culture. And the things I have learnt from Filipinos
Yep.
is just incredible. You know, they are family orientated and they are welcoming, and I have friends now that will be friends forever on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And the ability to go to another place and to be immersed in another culture, it really was life-changing for me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. I love experiencing other cultures and
Awesome.
yeah. So yeah, it's also, there is difficulty in that you say things and they just look at you with, and you actually learn. And you probably know this coming into Australia. There are lots of things that are Australian.
Very much so.
And you say them, and other people go,
What the hell?
"What are you talking about?" And you're like, oh,
Yeah. Thongs.
yes.
Australia's pretty much the only place in the world that I know that uses the word thongs to describe shoes.
Yes.
Okay, these shoes specifically.
Yes,
Right. So everywhere else in the world, thongs is underwear,
that's right.
and people go, "I'm going to bring my thongs." Good for you. Great.
They're called slippers in the Philippines.
These are called slip slops or flip flops in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who calls them thongs? Well, apparently Aussies do. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
No.
But yeah, so I totally get that whole, like, there's different words for different things.
Yeah. Even I was saying to my VA the other day, "Can you book this in for a fortnight?" And she said, "Oh, Lou, what's a fortnight again?"
Oh.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's not a word you use." So I remember they say every other week.
Oh, okay. So
It's much easier to say fortnight, but they use, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness.
Yes. Different terminology, misunderstandings.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, last question. Well, maybe not last question. We might keep talking. Who knows? You focus on, as we said before, you focus on hiring people or recruiting people in for a full-time job as an offshore staff member of the other company. They become a staff member employed by the other business, effectively. So you've done this now for 18 months. You've had a couple of placements. You've had a few people coming through. You've done, a few interviews and things. What would be your advice to a company that's thinking about doing this or wants to do this, and in terms of what's the most common thing that the company that wants to hire the person forgets or does not consider when they're thinking about this? What's the most common challenge that comes up where they haven't really thought about, oh, I need to do that, or I need this in place, or I'll have to behave differently because I have an offshore staff member? Like, what's that most common thing that comes up?
Sure. So because I'm working mostly with solopreneurs,
Yep.
or people that are just ready to scale,
Yep.
quite often those solopreneurs have never managed staff before.
Oh, yep.
So what they don't do is systemize first.
Okay. Yep.
So they have all of the knowledge of their business here,
Yeah.
and they somehow,
What am
I don't know whether it's because the word virtual is in there,
Yeah.
but they somehow think that their staff member is going to osmose the information from here into the staff member's brain. Yeah. And so for the most part, when people run into difficulty and they're ringing us saying, oh, this is not working, it's because they haven't got enough systems in place.
Yep.
And they haven't systemised first.
Yes.
Because how on earth are you going to know what you need to outsource unless you have systems and processes in place first?
Absolutely.
So you need to think about that first, and you need to get with somebody. If you're not good at systems, which I'm not, you need to get with people who are and say, help. Because otherwise, and this happened to us, like we got to a point where like, something's not quite right. We didn't have a clearly written recruitment process, and we knew what that process was, but it wasn't written, and there were 3 occasions where we went outside that process, and 3 occasions where it went very bad, very fast.
Yep, because you don't follow through on the stuff.
Yes, and so now we have a document. This is how you recruit. Also, we have Christine, who's our lead recruiter. If she leaves, all the knowledge that she has in her brain goes with her, and it's very scary for us. It's a huge risk for our business because she is the one with the 15 years recruitment experience, and she's got a couple of staff members under her, but they're under her. They have no idea about
all the stuff she knows, the experiences she's had.
And so this is what you need to do. You need to systemise and have processes in place so that when that worker comes on board, it's easy for them to understand your business. So the more information that you can give them, the better. So if you've got somebody that's doing social media updates for you, you have to have information about your brand.
Yes.
We have a 32-page brand book.
Good.
That talks about the logos you use, when you use them, the colours you use, the words you use, the hashtags you use, the user profiles in it. Because without that, and we have 3 team members that post. I'm not allowed to post because I make spelling mistakes.
I love it when the boss is not allowed to actually do the work. That's fabulous.
That was very funny. Nat's like, oh, Lou, can you not respond to things on our Facebook page? I'm like, why? She goes, it's not very consistent. And I'm like, do you mean I've got spelling mistakes? She goes, yes. And I'm like, okay.
I love how diplomatic that is.
She's very diplomatic. She's hilarious. So we have 3 people that post.
Yep.
But we want consistency across our brand because that's the rules, right?
Yep.
So I know that because we have this brand book, it's very comprehensive, that they will post the right way.
Yes, because it'll fit in with how the company should work and what you want to put out there.
Yeah. And
beautiful.
Again, knowledge up here is knowledge up here. You don't have, unfortunately, we don't have a little USB port where you can plug them and plug in.
I wish we did.
Much easier.
So much easier.
You know, we wouldn't have
push
to
it across
train anyone.
Read my mind.
Yeah, it'd be great. As a mother, it'd be great. Here.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Take it.
But we don't. So we have to get things from here to paper. And actually what that does is it doesn't only mean that your staff member is going to do very well, it actually means that you work out very quickly where your systems are good and where they're really crap. And it'll help you grow your business because then you will have this document.
Beautiful.
And your business will run much more smoothly.
Much better anyway. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us.
No problem.
It was great chatting with you and finding out some more about you and some of the challenges that you faced and how you help people. And great to have you in the network.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Bye.